Hi BookTube, I'm here today with my February TBR. I will not be playing my game this month, and that's because my TBR has been decided for me by a separate external entity. It makes it sound much more creepy and alien than it actually is. It's the CVC. Canada Reads is happening in March, so I read the books in February, I believe. The debates are taking place the first week of March this year, so yeah, I don't have a lot of leeway here. And then I added another book from the long list onto my TBR as well because it was the one that actually most interested me plot-wise. So I have 4 of the 6 books here with me. I'm waiting for the other 2 to come in from the bookstore. I think more now than ever I'm just going to fidget with something because I have a lot of energy right now and I need to do something with my hands. Sorry. What was I saying? I think it's more important now than ever to buy local, especially if you're Canadian, to just, make sure that we are keeping things going for our local businesses and within Canada especially, by made in Canada products. So these are all Canadian authors bought from my local bookstore. I'm gonna try and go there more than to like Chapters and stuff. And also, yeah, I'm trying to do that in a lot more aspects. It's actually like total rant, but I'm gonna go there anyways. We have like a local grocery store, and it's very small, but they have a really good meat selection. And what's good is that they package like single size or like 2-person portions. So you go to other grocery stores and like the meat is like all packaged in family size packaging. So like for like a lot of people, and what I would do is buy that, and then I'd end up with like eating the same thing for like a week straight because all I could afford was that, one product. So yeah, they have local meat, and it's butchered. I don't know if it's butchered in store. They must have a separate location for that, but yeah, I actually like it because I think it's saving me money because I'm not going to those big stores and getting distracted by all the unnecessary things that I need. Yeah. So that's another thing I think we should all be doing, is just supporting more local businesses. If you can afford it, let me just stress that, because I was once in a situation where like I couldn't afford to do that. It was cheaper to go there. And like people in small towns too, we don't think about that. I'm sorry I'm going on this rant, but I'm going to. I know I keep saying sorry, but I feel like I need to get this out. Like I've seen a lot of these videos about, being punk isn't buying from these places, just go to the thrift store. And like that's easy to say if you live in a city. Like it's easy to say shop local and go to your local bookstore and go to your local grocer when you live in a city that has those amenities and when you have the transportation to get there. When I was living in my small hometown, like we didn't have a local grocer. We only had like the big names. We had a thrift store, but to be honest, it wasn't very good. The nearest good thrift store was like a 45-minute drive away if you could afford to drive there, if you had a car, right? So it's just like a lot of these people saying these things, it's easier to say it when you live in a city as opposed to a lot of people living in rural places or living in smaller towns that aren't able to access these things. Like I've been so grateful to like being able to support, I gotta show you this, local artists and stuff. We have a few stores where like the artisans can put their products and sell them on like a storefront, and at one of them I got this. It's called Room Shrooms, and it's a 3D, like it's got a thing on the wall. I took it off the wall because we're having men install a hot water heater and it's right by the door, so I didn't want it to get wrecked. Like, isn't that so cool? Like, so I get to have really cool art and like support local at the same time. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and I'm happy I'm able to be in a situation both like geographically and financially to be able to do stuff like that. Anyways, I'm gonna now get on to my books because I'm talking for 5 minutes about everything but this is the one book that was on the long list but is not on the short list, The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. And this is what did it say? Okay, yeah, I'll just read this part because this is the part that interested me. Okay. There's this girl, she lives in a town, but the borders to the town, the valleys, are heavily guarded. There, it is the same valley, the same town, but to the east, the town is 20 years ahead in time. That's west, sorry. Well, I mean, northeast. Where's the river from here? I think the river's that way. I have no sense of direction, so east. I don't care. Okay, anyways, to the east the town is 20 years ahead in time, and to the west it's 20 years behind. And so like you can literally just like walk and time travel. And I just thought that was fascinating. Yeah, so I thought I'd just check that one out. And then the other 3 books I have are ones that are on the short list. Surprisingly, they're the 3 that I kind of had the most problems with. I hate to say it as problems. If you watched my live stream for the shortlist reveal, I kind of explained it more there, but I'll explain it again here. In regards to like autobiographies being on Canada Reads, because it feels so hurtful to pit up, like let me start at the beginning. Canada Reads, if you are not aware, is a book competition. So basically, there's 5 books, and there's 4 days of debate. And at the end of each day, a book is voted off, leaving 1 book standing. So they are all arguing for their book. The different contenders are on the table. And it's all televised and stuff. It's really cool. I highly suggest you watch it. But what gets me is that, like, we're pitting autobiographies. We're pitting, like, people's real lives against fiction. And it I don't know, it strikes me as kind of, like, hurtful almost, because you have to argue against certain books, too, sometimes. But maybe they'll be more kind this year in that you're only allowed to argue for your book. I don't know. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth that people have to argue against someone's actual lived experiences versus, like, a piece of fiction. I hope that comes across right. Anyways, so, like, I don't have a problem with these books. I'm interested in reading these books and these topics, but in the context of Canada Reads, the whole autobiography, people's life against fiction, and being in a competition kind of just doesn't seem right to me. But that's my personal opinion. Anywho, this book is Jenny's Boy by Wayne Johnston, and this is about a 6-month period for when Wayne Johnston goes to live with his grandmother, and he gets really sick. Yeah, and it's supposed to be kind of like quite funny. So that'll be an interesting experience. I always wonder about like people and why they think they should write autobiographies of their life, like why they think their life is significant enough to do that. Like, do you have to have some sort of like, just throwing this out here, didn't really think about it, but like have some sort of like narcissistic tendencies to want to write about your life and publish it so other people can read it? I don't know. Anyways, Wayne Johnston is an author, so, and he's from Newfoundland, and you know, they have a wonderful spirit and over there. And then this is the other memoir here. Oh, I'm sorry, Rags. I stuffed the book. somewhere else. A Two-Spirit Journey by Mani Chakabi, the autobiography of a lesbian Ojibwe Cree elder. And so she said she wanted to read this as an older woman, writing about her experiences and passing them on to her children, and to like share the culture. So yeah, that sounds. Is that pictures? I love it when there's pictures. Oh, there are pictures. What is this? Happy to be single and coming out in Thunder Bay. Cool. That's neat. Okay, so yeah, there's that one. And this one is stuff behind me. The only reason I had an issue with it is that it's a thriller. While I do enjoy reading thrillers, it has to be something particularly special for it to kind of stick out. And I've always said, and I guess I broke it with this one, I've always said I don't pay full price for thrillers because I only read them once and then kind of like get rid of them, because that's the joy of reading it, is you just read it for the thrill, and I think rereading it, kind of that thrill's gone because you know what's going to happen. So it's not that I don't view them as like real literature. I don't. Okay, that came out wrong. It's not like I don't view them as like good literature and valuable to read. Like thrillers, everything has its place. But I'm just not that big a fan. And I don't see what a thriller has to offer for the Canada Reads topic, especially when it's up against like important topics, right? Like, so it's interesting. This is Watch Out for Her by Samantha M. Bailey. Yeah. And another thing that gave me the ick about this book was that the author said that she wanted to create this fear of like, you don't know like who's watching your children. And it's just like, that's the last thing we need right now, is fear in the world. And especially like the people who are going to hurt your children are the people that you know, like the people within your family, not some stranger. Like that's who's most likely to hurt your child. And like to create this so much fear around it, I don't know. I'm already got my back up about this, but I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna see what it's like. Yeah. And I started this video completely unprepared, because I don't know what the other two books are. So I'm just gonna Google real quick. Canada Reads 2025 shortlist. And the other two, Dandelion, I'm really looking forward to. I'm just going to click on that link and hopefully it takes me to where I want to. Dandelion is, okay, I don't care about the person defending it. It's a novel about family secrets, migration, isolation, motherhood, and mental illness. Oh, it's about, okay, so the main character is Sui Hua, and she walked away from her family and was never heard from again. And her daughter's Lily, becomes obsessed with what happened to her. I don't know if this will. It will. So that's the cover. It's very pretty. Dandelion by Jamie Chai-Yun Liu. Right there. And then the other book I'll be reading is... should have been more prepared. Sorry, this one. Etta and Otto and Russell and James, and it's about I believe she's in her 80s. This 82-year-old Etta decides to walk 3,232 kilometers to Halifax from her farm in Saskatchewan to fulfill her dream of seeing the ocean. And with her, she takes a talking coyote named James, and she talks about her husband, Otto, and their friend Russell. So, yeah, that seems interesting. We get an older character there, so that will be interesting to read about. So, yeah, those should be coming soon. The people, actually, the bookstore I went into had a big setup already of the Canada Reads, and they knew immediately as I came. I just walked in and I grabbed the books and I went to the counter. I was like, "Do you have these ones as well?" And they said, "No, we'll put you on the order list though, because we know they're going to be in high demand." So I'm waiting for that call, and hopefully it comes soon. So that's it. that's what I'll be reading in February, along with whatever comics I happen to pick up. I don't like having them preset. I'll probably be reading the next Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 4. I'm just on Volume 3 right now, so Volume 4. That's probably a most definite one. So, that's it. Let me know what you'll be reading in February if you're participating in Canada Reads, and thank you for watching.